do. I'm just going to sort of try and flank around here a little bit just so I can hit them from the side. Whereas Rick's Way and oiTtoxic are keeping them busy on a frontal assault. However, you know, there's no real point. We don't even need strategy at this point. Like, we can just rush in there blindly and still take him out because this guy is all alone. He doesn't have his teammate down here in the bottom right. You know, there's no one here. He doesn't have his teammate here. This guy left. So he's all alone up here. His teammate did, run away, and he's starting to rebuild over here. However, Rick's Way flying over, he's going to spot that expansion. He's going to see that right there. He's going to get shot up by a couple of turrets. He's going to know, holy crap, they got a bunch of units here. They're starting to rebuild. And what he's doing is actually pretty smart. He's making photon cannons. That's actually a pretty smart idea because he's going to try and defend himself with those. But as you see, Rick's Way picks up on that, and he's not liking it at all. But, you know, a few Mutalisks, which is what these guys are called, they fly around. They're really not going to do too much damage to this. I don't think all these Mutalisks can, take down the base. But, I don't know, man. Rick's Way is pretty good at this game. He hasn't been on my channel before at all, so I'll give him a quick shout-out if I haven't already, like 14 times. So he's pretty good at this game, yeah, so I don't really doubt him to take down this base. However, I know I wouldn't be able to. I'm not that good yet, because he's had a lot longer than me for sure. So I'm just going to fast forward this a bit. It will be laggy, just, I don't know, doesn't really matter too much. I just kind of want to skip through this whole battle sequence because there's not a whole lot of time, left in this game with important stuff to cover. So yeah, like I thought, he couldn't take him down by himself. But he's going to set up an expansion right here, right beside the other guys. So that's going to be quite deadly. Now here is my main force. This is my biggest force I've had all game. And they start getting shot up, and I'm really, really worried when this starts happening. I'm like, oh crap, what am I going to do? Actually, at this point, I kind of forgot about them because I'm still microing I'm guys down here. But I decided I'm just going to sort of run away and go right up the ramp and attack them head on. Now, I can't see any of this. All I see is that. But these few units down here can, they still saw all this at one point. And I don't even know what's going on there, actually. I'm trying to sort of tell you my master plan here. But I have no idea why these troops are doing this. I can't even begin to explain why. But anyways, why? What the hell? Hang on. What the hell was I doing? Oh god. Anyways, yeah. So I'm just gonna speed it up a little bit more here. As you see, we're still macroing heavy up here. My mineral line is going down. These minerals, if I haven't mentioned before, the minerals and the gas, they do run out eventually. Like right now, it says remaining 760, and my minerals remaining are 660. So, alright, I'm just going to pause the video here because this is actually a pretty important part of the game. We're right at about 21 minutes. There's not a whole lot of time left in the game, but we didn't know that at the time, obviously. Here's the deal. I'm launching the attack on this expansion here. Actually, I'm going to go in everyone view. I'm launching this attack on this guy down here. I have no idea how many troops he has, alright? I can only see this far. I have no idea how many troops he has up here. Turns out that's it. He doesn't have any more. He just has a few cannons and a bunch of workers. That's it. What we didn't know was that Phoenix guy, at this point, was either an AI or he was being controlled by his teammates. I believe he was being controlled by his teammates. And they were trying to use him to expand to gather minerals for them. And as you see, it's working here. Phoenix is actually gathering minerals and gathering gas this entire time. If you remember Phoenix from down here, he died a long time ago. We took him out at, right after this guy down here. Well, we thought we took this guy out. It turns out he expanded here. So really, this entire game has never truly been a 3v2. This entire game has kind of been a 3v3. Because they haven't forgotten about Phoenix. Once your teammate dies, let's say, for example, let's say oiTtoxic was out of the game, I could start controlling his units and start building his economy. And then it would also add to mine. So these guys are actually playing this pretty well, so I'm just going to unpause here and see what the whole fight's going on here. Now, all these siege tanks are going to, just completely devastate that army, obviously. That was really just a militia, not really much of an army at all. And I'm going to work my way up the space and completely dominate all of these warp gates down here, all of these workers, and there's no point even, it's not really an epic battle, guys, it's just sort of me owning. Pretty soon anyways, I don't know. If you look, you might as well just look down in the mini-map, it sort of gives a better explanation as to what's going on. See, Rick's Way's moving in with his Mutalisks, he's flying over, just bombing them. And Dav Terran decides, you know what, he's not going to be able to win because he sees all the siege tanks, he sees all the Mutalisks, and he knows there's no point in even trying. So there are about 8 minutes left in the game. The reason for that is we were unaware of this expansion the entire time. Oh, well, for most of the time anyway. We thought he just sort of ran away. So now, this guy is up here in the top left. We have no idea he's up here in the top left, right? Nobody's really seen him in a while. I guess Rick has scouted there before just because he flies over everything. But we don't really know for sure what's going on up here. So, yeah, we don't really know that this expansion even exists. We just found this one a while ago, and now we just destroyed it, right? So really, that's the only reason why this guy up here is still alive, because we had no idea he existed. But at this point, it is officially a 3v1. He's forgotten about Phoenix down here. Phoenix just got taken out over here, and Rick's Way is gonna just completely go in there and dominate for me. And oiToxic, of course. oiToxic is sort of moving in some troops, but right now he's just sort of sitting there. Yeah, so what we're going to see here is we're going to see Rick's Way do his best to take out these forces, and I think he does kick in the door for oiToxic and me. I think he does definitely, leave a nice gap in their defenses for us to go in. Unfortunately, at this point, we're just building up our defenses. Our attack, preparing for an attack. Rick's Way just more sort of getting scouting information and harassing more than he is actually trying to destroy them completely. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. And he's doing a fantastic job, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, once those Vikings come in, these guys are really, really good at air superiority. That's exactly what they're designed for. They are designed to control the sky. So really what this guy should have done is send out his Vikings, but I suppose I could have shot them out of the air. So that's not, that dumb of a decision. But yeah, moving in some tanks, moving in all my Marines. That is a pretty decent-sized army right there, not to mention all the tanks. And the Marines backing them up, that's not bad at all. oiToxic has something that's not too bad. He has a bunch of Stalkers, which are ranged, so they might be able to shoot over this gap, which is pretty smart. But I really think that it's Rick's Way with his bunch of Mutalisks, wherever they went, actually. I think I just lost them. Holy crap, he has a ton of Overlords. But yeah, oh well. I think he just actually killed those Mutalisks, but he has a couple of Roaches down here, I forgot about. Anyways, I can tell you Stalkers, Roaches, Mutalisks all day. The point is, this guy is sort of just sitting here on this island. We already know he's here at this point. He's not going to be able to, leave. He could lift these buildings up, and, these buildings can fly and leave. But there's really no point in leaving because oiToxic's right here sitting at his front door. We're going to see exactly where he goes. We're going to be able to chase him down and kill him. At this point, he pretty much knows that. I think he's just sort of holding on to the thought that he can escape. See, right here, you can see in these medevacs, he put a ton of Marines in here. This is just his final attempt at, sort of redemption here. He's going to try and win his best, but we already know he can't. He probably is holding on to the hope that he can break the weakest link, which are probably me. He thinks it's me in this case, and he probably thinks that he can just take me on and then win somehow. I'm not really quite sure, but it kind of works a little bit because I kind of freak out because I hear that this attack's going on, but I have troops already set up in my base. He's not really going to do too much to me. But yeah, it's kind of desperate actually watching this guy try and fight back. Because although, yes, he did, destroy my refinery, yes, he is destroying a couple of my buildings, all these units are going to come rushing up the ramp, and they're going to take him out. What he should have done here is lift up. He should have put all these units back in those medivacs and gotten the hell out of there, and he would have lived. But unfortunately, I'm coming in with heavy reinforcements. He's just trying to deal as much damage as he possibly can. That's pretty smart, hiding behind the building and whatnot, but it's not going to do anything to me. It's really not going to do enough. Really, there we go. I launched my siege tanks on him. I'm putting some Marines on there. Now he decides to pull out, but it's too late at this point. That's what she said. But that's it. That's game. And it's pretty good. Actually, well, a few minutes in the game are left. We're just going to watch this guy sort of try and fight it out. He's having Vikings, which is smart, because, he's on an island, so we have to go to take to the skies to sort of beat him. But if you saw that on the mini-map right there, yeah, Rick's Way is moving in with a ton of Mutalisks. I'm counting, we have 2 pages of Mutalisks. That's probably a solid, what is that, 3 times 8, and then second page, like, I don't know, 30, maybe 32, sort of, some odd Mutalisks. That is devastating. Versus his, I don't know, what is that, 7 Vikings and, like, a few medevacs, which isn't going to do anything. Oh no, he has, like, a solid 9 Vikings. Wow, good job. I feel so mean because these guys really didn't stand much of a chance because we hit them really early on in the game, I believe at, like, the 7-minute mark. But they waited the entire game to do anything to us, and it was too late, They waited way too long, and we kicked in their front door, and then, it's hard to explain how they could have, come back from this because you can't. You can't if somebody else does the early rush and you were completely unprepared for it. But, oh well. We're going to move in there, we're going to kick in the door, and we're going to complete... How many times did I say kick in the door? I'm sorry, I'm annoying myself at this point. We're going to go in there and we're going to own this guy is basically what I'm going to say, alright? So, the game's not over yet. There's a minute left in the game, well, about a minute and a half, but... Look at this army. That's Rick's Way with a ton of Mutalisks. That's me down there with siege tanks and Marines. And I believe oiToxic also has a ton of troops somewhere over the rainbow. I don't even know where his troops... Oh, there's his army. I think he kind of gave up on the army and started going for a stronger economy. In case this guy managed to put up a ton of turrets, which he should have done. He should have put up a bunch of turrets and a bunch of bunkers. Would it have made much of a difference? Nope, not really. But it's probably the best thing you could have done in this case scenario. So anyways, if you liked the video... you know, drop it a like. It definitely makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. If you dislike the video, press a dislike button. And if you want to subscribe to me, click the subscribe button. I'm going to be uploading more frequently. And oh yeah, I wanted to mention the montage. Alright, I said I was going to come out with a montage in June, and it didn't come out. The reason for that being that my PVR, as I've said before, is like completely broken at this point. Sorry, I hit my mic there. My PVR is like completely broken at this point. It won't work at all. And if you've ever seen montages before, it's not just clip after clip after clip after clip. There's a lot of cinematics, you know. The camera will pan around a unit, or the camera will sort of zoom in and out of different, I don't know, attacks and jumping around and doing flips and 360s and no scope, yeah. And my PVR broke, so I can no longer do that. So I either A, decide just to completely, you know, make a new montage, or I had to change my entire montage up. That's what I'm trying to say here. I had to completely change my montage because I had to move around clips where I should have had, you know, cinematics, and I had to move around cinematics where I had to put in transitions and clips. And it's just a really big hassle because I can't really do it all. I can change the entire game. I can change the entire montage, but that's a ton of work. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of work on it a bit more and only change little bits of it, and hopefully I'll be able to get that out for you guys soon. So yeah, as you see, that's game. And hopefully I'll be able to get that montage out for you soon. It won't be as I intended. It won't be, you know, my original, I guess, idea, but it's going to be what it's going to be. So, you know, it's my first try, and obviously there will be complications as usual. I always have complications whenever it comes to any of this, but oh well. So, oh, by the way, I want to mention, this guy actually did Colonist did a pretty decent attempt. He took out my command center up here, which is like my main hub. He actually took it out. If I did not make this expansion, I would have been out of the game, technically. I would have had to use one of my workers to build another one of these. I would have been set back for a while, so good job on Colonist's part. So I'm going to give a shout out to him, and to Rixway, and to oiToxic, and I hope you understood any bit of this video. I'm probably going to split it up into 2 parts, but yeah, so my name is oiKkaRma. Stay classy.
So literally, a moonroof. Oh yeah. Yeah. No. Walking round the town. Gonna flip upside down and tell you. You should be careful flipping upside down in the town. You could fall down, break your crown, suckle. I'm just telling you, man, don't wanna let you down. I wanna pick you up. Don't frown. Turn the frown upside down. But be careful, like I said before.